Listen, there comes a time even for a farmer when he'll get rid of his cow. And you know when that time comes? When he has to feed it more grass than it's giving milk. That's when the farmer says, this cow is too old. What about for us? That's what we do. We feed everything else that we can get hold of. Okay, I'm feeding you so that someday, in turn, you will give me joy. You will give me happiness. I know a fellow, I fly with him, and for his entertainment, he bought a motorhome. And he was so happy with his motorhome when he got it. After that, every single flight, he tells me of the terrible things that are happening to it. His wife took it on a vacation and banged it a little bit. Now he's got to go and straighten it out. And now he's got to do this. And now he's got to do that. And this broke and that broke. Is this really supposed to be what you bought this thing for? And yet, this precarious position is how we have arranged our own lives like. Precarious. You mean this to me. I expect this from you. You are my son. You are my daughter. You are my wife. You are my friend. You are my neighbor. You are my this. You are my that. And this is what I expect from you. I was raised for a certain part of my life in India. And I got to see two things. Every day, except for Sundays and during the vacation times, I used to go to school. Yes, in India you go to school on Saturdays. And it was a Catholic school. And we were taught, love thy neighbor. That was a bit of a disaster. Because even the schools didn't like their neighbors. Where the school was. And all the fathers would complain about, this neighbor and that's really terrible and that's really bad and don't go there and don't do this. They were constantly quarreling. At home, it wasn't any different. Neighbor on both sides and, oh, that's a terrible neighbor and that's a terrible neighbor and that's terrible. Then I moved to America and it wasn't any different. I moved to England, and it wasn't any different. In fact, somebody drove into my living room